And welcome back to Packet 6 to Part 4. This is the final part for the packet. And for this part, we are talking about substitution. So it's pretty simple. You have an expression and you're going to substitute a value in for the variable. So if you look at number 1, I have 6x minus 3 for x equals -4, -1, and 2. So remember, when you have a number next to a variable, it means you're going to multiply. So if it makes you feel better to make parentheses around the variable to show multiplying, to remind yourself that this is multiplication, go ahead and do so. So first things first, x is -4. So I'm going to take 6 times -4 minus 3. X is -1. So I'm going to take 6 times -1 minus 3. And x is 2. 6 times 2 minus 3. Well, 6 times -4 is a -24. So I have -24 minus 3. This is subtracting with integers, so you're going to do keep change opposite. So you'll have -24 plus a -3. So same signs. So you're just going to add. 24 plus 3 is 27, and it's going to be negative because you're adding negatives together. 6 times -1 is -6 minus 3. Same thing. You're going to have -6 plus a -3. So they're both negative, so you just add, so it's a -9. And now you have last one. 6 times 2 is 12 minus 3. Well, 12 minus 3 is 9. So those are your 3 answers. Okay, let's look again at number 2. I have 18 minus 4v for v equals -2, 0, and 4. Remember, this means multiply. So I'm going to have 18 minus 4 times -2. I'm going to have 18 minus 4 times 0. I'm going to have 18 minus 4 times 4. So 18 minus 4 times -2 is -8. Keep change opposite. So now you have 18 plus 8, which gets you 26. 18 minus 4 times 0 is 0. So that's 18. And then 18 minus 4 times 4 is 16. And that's 2. So those are your 3 answers. Okay. Number 3. I have 2p minus 4p. So remember that these both mean to multiply. And I have p equals -4, 3, and 5. So I'm going to have 2 times -4 minus 4 times -4. Then 2 times 3 minus 4 times 3. And then 2 times 5 minus 4 times 5. Okay? So 2 times -4 is -8 minus 4 times -4 is -16. So we're going to do keep change opposite. So keep change opposite. So now we have -8 plus 16. They are different signs, so subtraction. 16 minus 8 is 8, and it's going to be positive because 16 is bigger. 2 times 3 is 6 minus 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, smaller minus bigger. So keep change opposite. So now we have different signs, which means subtraction. And it's going to be a -6 because 12 is bigger, and 12 minus 6 is 6. 2 times 5 is 10, minus 4 times 5 is 20. Same thing, keep, change, opposite. 20 minus 10 is 10, and it's going to be a negative because 20 is bigger. I want you to try and do 4 on your own and 5. I'm going to show you how to do 6 since it has 2 fractions. Okay? So 4 over 5 times j plus 1/2 times j, when j equals -3, 0, and 1/3. So I'm going to have 4 over 5 times -3 plus 1/2 times -3. 4 over 5 times 0 plus 1/2 times 0. And 4 over 5 times 1/3 plus 1/2 times 1/3. 4 times 3 is -12. So this is -12 over 5 plus 1/2 times -3, which is -3 over 2. So in order to add fractions, you have to have a common denominator. And a common denominator with 5 and 2 is 10. So this is going to be times 2 and times 5. So 12 times 2 is -24 over 10 plus 5 times 3 is -15 over 10. So now you can just add them together. They are same sign, so you're adding. 24 plus 15 is 39, and it's a negative over 10. That's your answer. 4/5 times 0 is 0, and 1/2 times 0 is 0, so 0 plus 0 is 0. 4 times 1 is 4 over 15, plus 1 over 6. You just multiply straight across. Again, common denominator. They both have a common denominator of 30. 15 times 2 gets 30, and 6 times 5 gets 30. So 4 times 2 is 8, and 5 times 1 is 5. So 8 plus 5 is 13, so our answer is 13 over 30. Okay. Let's look at the bottom part. The bottom part is the same thing, it's just now in table format. Okay? So, these are quite simple. So I'm going to actually have you do majority of this on your own. So I'm going to have you do A, B, and C on your own. And we'll do D together just because it is fractions. Okay. So, again, when it's right next to each other, that means to multiply. So, I have -5, -1, 0, and 15. So, I'm going to take first one, -1/5 times -5 plus 3 and 2/5. So, -1 times -5 is a positive 5. So I have 5 over 5 plus 3 and 2/5. Well, 5 over 5 is a 1. So this is like 1 plus 3 and 2/5. 1 plus 3 is 4, and just add on the 2/5. Okay, -1. So I have -1/5 times a -1 plus 3 and 2/5. Negative times a negative is a positive, and 1 times 1 is 1. So I have 1/5 plus 3 and 2/5. Well, 1 plus 2 is 3, so now I have 3 and 3/5. Okay? Negative 1/5 times 0 plus 3 and 2/5. Well, anything times 0 is 0, so then that just leaves 3 and 2/5. And then last 15. So I have negative 1/5 times 15 plus 3 and 2/5. Negative 1 times 15 is negative 15. So I have negative 15 over 5 plus 3 and 2/5. Well, 15 divided by 5 is negative 3. Different signs mean to subtract. So 3 minus 3 is 0. And I'm just left with 2/5. And it's positive because 3 and 2/5 is bigger than just 3. Okay, so your job is to do on the top part 4 and 5, and on the bottom part A, B, and C. For B, this fraction means to divide. So you'll divide first and then add 6. Okay, if you need any help, please use Google Classroom, Remind, or email.